Welcome to a Poshmark beginner guide. Today we are going to show you how to show up in search on Poshmark due to their new updates. Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome if you guys are new here. My name's Arilia, otherwise known as martziechic, and I am a full-time reseller, mostly on Poshmark and eBay. Today I have a very exciting video for you guys. I know a lot of you enjoyed my last Poshmark beginner guide, so I'm kind of making a new one today showing you exactly the steps that you need to take to make sure that your listings are standing out on Poshmark for search engine optimization. So this is a really key thing if you want to make more sales on Poshmark. So if you guys are ready, we will head into it. But first, if you guys like reseller content or just want to see more videos just like this, be sure to hit the little subscribe button down below, and also tap the notification bell right next to it to be notified every single time I post a new video. Just by liking this video, you show a great deal of support to my channel, but also let me know that you want to see more types of these videos. So if you've done that and you've subscribed, we will head right into what we're going to be talking about today. So before we get into the specific listing portion of this video, I did just want to explain some of the changes that Poshmark has rolled out this past year. Firstly, Poshmark came out with the style tags feature. So when you go down and scroll into your listings, you can now add style tags. These are just words to additionally describe your item, but I definitely can see Poshmark using this as a filter for searches, but possibly as another feature later on searching through themes of items. So I know that Mercari and eBay already have search filters like this as well, which is really great, especially if you want to cross post. But I do see these tags becoming more prevalent, as they also just unveiled that they now have an 80 character title limit. So the title is really where you can sell your item, but also is what really shows up in search. So if you're using a lot of keywords in the title, this is great, but also understand when you're searching it on Poshmark, the same amount of characters are still going to be shown on your listings. So the first few words of your listing are key, but then after that are just additional words that you can be using for search engine optimization. If you guys don't know what SEO is already, it is just a way to make sure that your listings are showing up on Google search. This is a way that people search for items. So if you're looking for a specific brand, a specific style, you definitely want to include those sorts of keywords within your listings. So let's jump into the listing portion of this video. It's going to be a quick one today, but I hope that you guys can really see what we're talking about here with these new updates. So I have my computer pulled up here, and I'm going to be screen recording and sharing with you guys some of the things that I personally see. So these are my drafts, and if I scroll down, I copied a listing that I've already posted in my closet to kind of show you guys what I mean. So this is a Misa Los Angeles dress, a really cute little maxi dress. Obviously my photos are not great, but I tried having a good cover photo. So the first thing I'm going to do here is delete the fact that this is a copy, but as you guys can see, we have a lot more characters than we previously did within our listings. So we really want to make the most of all of these characters. I counted, there's 80. So the first thing that you guys are going to want to look at is the title here. So the first thing that you want to write down is the brand of that item. I have titled mine Misa Los Angeles because that is the brand. You want to make sure that this is included, because if anyone is searching for a specific brand of item, you definitely want to come up first. But then after that, I actually have the specific style of the dress. I found that it was called the Michaela dress, so I did include that. You might not want to include this for certain oversaturated pieces. I'm really only thinking of these sorts of things for Anthropologie or Free People. If there's a lot of competition for a specific style of item, you might want to not include the style name, just because you can be more competitive that way. So that way people aren't looking at competitors' items with the same name. You can just include a lot of style tags. So then after that, I have all of these style tags. So we're going to be talking about each of these here. The first thing is that it is a tiered dress. This is the style of dress, but also that it is a maxi dress. No matter what kind of listings you guys are having, whether it's a sweater cardigan, you want to include the subcategory as well. So this is why I'm including the word maxi dress, because whether it's a mini, a maxi, a midi, you want to include these types of keywords, because a lot of people are also going into these subcategories to search items. So I have that included. I also have the color of the dress, because sometimes the colors that we might choose, like blue, red, whatever, purple, those colors don't necessarily describe the color of the dress. Whether that be maroon, it might be a more red maroon, it might be more purple maroon, whether it's a mauve color, whether it's a rosy color, and these colors don't necessarily fit within the colors that are already listed on Poshmark. Or if it's a multicolor item, you might want to include the word rainbow or pride, or however you want to list that item. There are a ton of different keywords that we'll get into underneath the style tags, like bohemian, western, what are some other ones here? Preppy, collegiate. All of these types of items are great to include in your title because you really want to make your title more searchable. Now, as you guys can see, I did include these all the way at the end of the listing because the first few things that people are going to see are the half of this listing. So they're going to see Misa Los Angeles, Michaela, tiered, blank. And obviously the photo shows that it's a dress, so I'm not too worried about people knowing that it's a dress. After that, I did include that it was a medium, and I also included the letter M because some people just search based on the letters instead of the actual words, because again, that was an older feature where, you know, you really had to include the letter rather than the full word because people would search based on the letter. If I had enough room in this listing, I definitely would add the word women's in front of the word medium, because as I'm cross-listing items as well, this makes it really easy to cross-list it into eBay for eBay search, but that is another thing altogether. So after that, we have the description. So the biggest parts of your description, a lot has changed since my first beginner video, and I really would encourage you guys just to make at least 1 or 2 sentences with all of your keywords. So I included tiered, maxi dress, the name again, Misa Los Angeles, off the shoulder, bows, chiffon, all those sorts of things, so that way people can really search this item. I probably also should have used the word Michaela since that is the style of the dress, and I know sometimes that even if you include the style name within the description, it can still come up in search if someone's searching it. So that is an additional thing that you might consider doing. And then after that, I have a little sentence talking about the condition of the item. I would highly encourage you guys to always put the condition in the second sentence or the last sentence in your description, because this informs your buyer of exactly the condition of the item. You really don't want there to be any miscommunications between you and the buyer, because then they can dispute that item. So really, this one had no flaws on it whatsoever, so I did state that. But if there was a flaw, say, I would state that in the description, and I'd also point to it in a picture. So in my pictures, obviously there are no flaws, so I don't really have anything to point out. But if there's a hole, if there's a stain, or if there's some pilling or material wear that's pretty noticeable, I do want the customer to know about that. Also, unrelated to the searchability, I do have the size and the measurements added onto each of my listings. Some people dispute this, but I personally find that this is the easiest way for me to get instant sales. What I mean by this is if a guest comes onto my listing and sees that it's marked a size medium and I don't have any additional measurements, and they haven't bought anything from Misa Los Angeles in the past, or say it's a brand that's kind of hard to figure out the sizing, some things are sized differently than others, they would really want to know the measurements of that item. And especially if they are a guest, they cannot just comment within that listing and say, hey, what are the measurements? Or they might buy it and it might not fit them exactly the way that they want to. Also, I think this can be a deterrent for some people because they don't really want to ask questions, they just want to buy an item. So I always include the measurements in here, and I make sure that there's no questions asked. If someone wants to ask me any miscellaneous questions I found, usually the pit to pit, the length of the item, the waist of the item, the front rise, and the inseam are the most common ones. On vintage items, I usually tend to include the hips because things in vintage are usually a bit more narrow, but those are usually the most common asked questions. So that's what I include in the measurements. These really aren't great for search engine optimization, but it's really good to make those instant sales. So with the title and description, we've already kind of covered the keywords that you want to include, but in the categories, you always want to select a subcategory. So you don't just want to include dresses, you really want to ensure that you have selected a subcategory for your item. So for this one, like I said, it's a maxi dress, so I selected maxi dress. Single item, it's a size medium, there's no tags attached, I included the brand name. You always want to include the correct brand name. I understand for search visibility, you might want to include a more popular brand name, but it might be deceiving to a buyer who then can return that item, so you really don't want to do that. Also, the color's blue. I included the keyword navy within my title so that way they know exactly what shade of blue. But then in the style tags, I included a few, and actually I'm looking at these now, I probably should have included the tag shabby chic onto my title. So these are the keywords that I specifically chose for this listing: shabby chic, chiffon, and tiered. Now, chiffon and tiered were not already a part of the style tags, so I individually added those. You can individually add your own style tags if there's something that's not included. Instead of shabby chic though, I might want to include maxi. They don't have the keyword maxi, but I do find that it's important for searchability. So like I said, I definitely can see the style tags being a search of their own sometime soon, and especially since Poshmark did give us more characters for the title. In the future, I see Poshmark making this a more important part of the listing, having longer titles with more keywords for more sales for the platform. And then obviously just pricing your item accordingly. For discounted shipping, I don't think that discounted shipping really makes any difference in terms of SEO or making sales in my personal opinion, but nothing else is really important for search engine optimization. So now that this item is listed, let's go back and see if I can actually find it on Google. So if I'm on Google and I search Misa Los Angeles Michaela dress, and I'm gonna search navy dress because I think that there is more than one color in these dresses. We're going to see if I can find my listing. So if I go into shopping from Google, I see that my listing is the first thing that pops up. That is actually wonderful. And if you guys can tell, I did model this item, obviously because it was my size. If you can't model the item, that's fine. But I didn't choose one of the stock photos that was previously there because they're really popular. And as you can see, the first two photos that come up, those are the exact same photos. So I really wanted to stand out. And obviously, my pricing is more competitive. So I have all of these keywords that Google really wants. So when you're searching up this Michaela dress, it comes up first. Now let's just say I decide that I am going to get rid of the keyword Michaela. I just want to say navy maxi dress, or maybe navy tiered maxi dress. Let's see if my listing comes up. Yes, it is still the second thing to come up in search and the first thing when you scroll down. I'm not sure if Verishop is advertising their thing more since it's not the navy color, but my listing is still the first thing to come up. So you can definitely see that Poshmark and Google are really intimately connected here, and you want to be using these keywords for whatever people are going to be searching. I know that lately, since I've been using a lot more keywords, I've been having a lot more guest users on my Poshmark itself, and you can tell this because when someone buys something, it says guest with a whole bunch of numbers. So I know that that's the first thing that they've bought from me, which is really, really cool. So I definitely know that my listings are coming up in Google search and people are buying them just from Google search. So you guys don't have to have your own website for this or anything like that. You can just use keywords on Poshmark and get a really good response in search. I hope this video helped you guys, and if it did, please be sure to give it a little thumbs up down below to support my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video.